Cases of Uganda's sexual and gender-based violence, especially against women and children, are reported almost every day. The numbers have almost doubled since the COVID-19 was announced. Some civil society organizations in northern Uganda say urgent intervention is a must.
Government have really not taken the aspect of gender-based violence very seriously. And yet, this is a package that government should have really looked at the time of declaring the lockdown.
And as many families battle the economic effects of the over 2-month lockdown, more cases of domestic violence are expected. However, according to Beatrice Lagada, a technical advisor on gender-based violence at Hando, Uganda, blaming the pandemic for the upsurge in GBV cases would be misleading.
This society is a rural society. There's food in the garden. What is the problem now? Why should you be so stressed? They are not locked up in the town. They are locked up in their homes. We can't put the blame of this gender-based violence on COVID alone. COVID has just highlighted it.
Northern Uganda, especially the Acholi Sub region, has registered the highest cases of sexual, gender and domestic violence cases in the country over the years.
For the simple reason that during the war, during the insurgency, people were in camps. And in many cases, children were left to fend for themselves. Women were left majorly to fend for the family. The men sort of lost their sense of responsibility.
Members of the civil society and government want psychosocial counseling centers set up in all districts across the country. The Commissioner of Gender and Women Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Angela Nakafero, notes that plans are underway to establish GBV shelters.
As a ministry, we've put the establishment of GBV shelters in our plan. We are hoping that probably at one point we'll be able to mobilize resources accordingly. We have a Department of Culture and Family Affairs. They provide psychosocial support. And if you've been following the trend, we have the Sauti 116. One of the services provided is psychosocial support. And of course, you have to be mindful of the fact that government does not work in isolation.
According to Anthony Ojok, a psychosocial counselor and executive director of Gulu Counselling Center, most counselling services are voluntary and the private sector's efforts to provide them are affected by resource constraints.
Access to the radio stations. Because if we had access to the radio stations, all these radio stations offer this service at a fee. You don't get airtime for free on radio stations.
He notes that unlike in the past, when most cases of violence were reported by mainly women and children, cases of violence against men have cropped up in the last 3 months.
Parents that's facing harassment from their own wives, from their children. It's even high among teachers, because some of them have not been paid since Feb.
In mid-April, police said it had received reports of 328 cases of domestic violence during the COVID-19 lockdown, which had been on for 14 days then. Nelson Omoya, NTV Tonight.